What's up everybody, Rob here. So this is just a real quick video I'm putting out there. My work schedule has been utterly hectic the past couple of weeks, and I work in a grocery store. So as you can imagine, with the holiday season fast approaching, things have been, well, kind of chaotic. And so I have a scripted video, it's ready to go, I just need to actually, do it. The problem though is I don't know if I can, and well, I will get to it eventually, just that, work schedule is, well, it's crazy. But although I'm there at my job for a long period of time, I'm not actually in a very intellectually stimulating job. So because of this, I have a tremendous amount of time to think about things. And I was inspired by the current election. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the election or the fact that we actually have no idea what's going on with this election. I'm not commenting on that. I'm leaving that to many other people. They can argue that all they want. I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. But it got me thinking about the political process here in the U.S., and why our politicians are complete and utter sociopaths. At least on a national level, they are all sociopaths, like every single one of them. And at least to some degree, they have sociopathic tendencies. And I came to the conclusion that we, as the American people, actually care about the character of our politicians. And because of this, we get people with the worst characters in office. Hear me out here. This is going to be rambling and incoherent. This is unscripted. Just a stream of consciousness, so just bear with me. But here we go. Okay, every time there's a politician, at least especially on the national level, but it happens on state and local levels too, to a lesser extent. But every time there's a politician, a candidate, a whatever, we immediately get the media, who's the media is just a completely parasitical entity on the American public. But that's a whole nother. The media sucks. You know it. I know it. We all know it. They immediately go on this fact-finding crusade where they dig up every single aspect of that person's life. I mean, they go into, their past histories, what they did in whatever schools they went to, like what grades they got, whatever they did. And like literally every single aspect of their lives is now aired in front of the entire world. And because of this, sane people don't want to have their entire life aired in front of the entire world. So sane people stay out of politics because they don't want to have to deal with all that sort of thing. For example, this person got blackout drunk at a frat party back in college, like 30 years ago. But that's going to be aired in front of everybody. Oh, this person cheated on a math test. That's going to be aired in front of everybody. This person, made this, offhanded remark disparaging, insert X group here, in a private conversation once. That's going to be aired in front of everybody. That's going to be all dragged to the surface, and the world now gets to look at it. And because of this, sane people, now there's a lot of people in the world, now I don't want to make this into a left-wing, right-wing, libertarian, authoritarian thing. I don't want to turn it into that sort of thing. But there are a lot of people, regardless of where you look on the political spectrum, they are very intelligent, very capable, very competent people in the private sector. They're hyper successful. They have good ideas. They know how to solve problems. And if they were to take the reins of power, at least temporarily, whether it's president or Congress or wherever, they can do a lot of good. They can really solve a lot of the problems we have. They can streamline things. They can work with people on the other side of the political spectrum. We can actually get stuff done. But they're not going anywhere near it because they don't want to have the media attention, and they don't want their entire life history, out in the open for the world to see. So because of this, because we actually care about the character of our politicians, all we have left now are the utter sociopaths who don't mind the fact that we will now drag up every bit of information about their lives. Who was that? Was that you? I got my editor-in-chief over here. Well, one of my editors. That's Jonah. He's weird. But I thought I heard something over there, but whatever. Any case, where was I? Yeah, so all that's left are the utter lunatics, the people who don't care about the fact that their entire life is now being displayed for the world to see. So we get the lunatics. And I think the solution is really simple, and that is to stop caring. Just look, did the person do anything illegal? I mean, seriously, I don't mean they got a parking ticket or something. I'm talking did they murder anybody? No. Did they commit, armed robbery or something like that? No. Assault and battery, rape, arson, etc. Did they do any of that stuff? No. Okay. Did they embezzle money? No. Pretty much every politician embezzled money some way. All of them did, but you know what I mean. Are they being bribed by foreign officials? No. Okay, like are they really like doing any sort of like major crimes like that? Have they committed those? No. Okay. Okay, then I really don't care. Like, okay, this person, told a dirty joke at a party once, like, back in like the first Bush administration. Who cares? I don't care. It's not relevant. But that's going to be like, it's going to be dragged out. This person made this disparaging comment on this minority group. It's like, I don't care. I don't care. I want this guy to be able to run the country, or fulfill his office, whatever, or her office, or Zier's office, whatever whatever. But like, I want to know: are you competent and capable? I don't care that you had too many drinks once at a frat party. Like, it's really just utterly unimportant to me. And I don't think it should be important to the American people as a whole, as long as it doesn't interfere with your ability to do your job. I don't know why we should even care. So overall, I think as a nation, we would be much better served if we just stopped caring about the past and the character of our politicians and of our political class. That's just something that, it's kind of a reverse Darwinism thing going on there, where you have people who, the more we care about character, the less trustworthy and less people with good character we get. It's kind of like this weird paradox, but there it is. That's been my observation, and I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, let me know what you think about it. But I had this other idea too, and this is actually inspired by history, and it has to do with the accountability, especially accountability of the presidency. Now, you can also apply this to Congress, this idea to Congress to an extent, but definitely to the president. And I think that every president, upon the completion of their term, whether it's a 4-year term or an 8-year term, regardless of their political party, should be immediately impeached. Every single one of them should be immediately impeached. And they should know that they're going to be impeached. Like, right into the Constitution, like put on another amendment, they will be impeached upon the completion of their term. And this has to do with, or I got this idea from ancient Sparta. Now, Sparta had a multi-tiered society, as you guys know. You had the Helots on the bottom, the Perioikoi above them, and then you have the Homoioi, which are the actual Spartan warriors. When you think Spartans, that was them, the guys with the warriors that, they went to the Goge, and you know who Spartans are. If you don't know who Spartans are, I can't really help you there. Well, I can help you, but now's not the time or place. But in any case, the Spartan government was made up of the Homoioi. Specifically, it had multiple layers. You had the General Assembly, which is all men over 30 years old. This is only the Homoioi, the Perioikoi, and the Helots. The Helots were slaves, so like they did nothing. But General Assembly was of the Homoioi, above 30 years old. They really didn't have any actual power. Their job was basically just to rubber stamp what everybody else did. Above them, you had the Gerousia, which was the all Spartan men who were over 60 years old, and they actually were the ones who ran the government. They were the ones who were making the day-to-day decisions. You also had two kings, who were, well, they were kings. They had very significant authority, lots of religious power and authority, and they also led the armies in times of war. And they were there as a counterbalance to one another. But then on top of all of this were guys known as the E-Force or F-Force. I say E-Force because I'm an American, that's how I pronounce it. I'm sure someone's going to comment that I said it wrong. But in any case, there were 5 of them, and they were elected for 1-year terms. And there's a point to this, don't worry. And they basically were, I don't want to say dictators, but they had power theoretically even higher than that of the kings. They were the top tier of Spartan society. And they were elected for 1-year terms. And at the end of their term, they had to be put on trial. They were put on trial where they were put in front of the General Assembly, the Gerousia, and the kings. And they were then grilled as to what they did while they were in office. They were forced to answer questions like, you put in place this policy. Why did you do it? You revoked this policy from a previous F4 or a previous ruling of the Gerousia. Why did you do that? You overrode the king, because they could theoretically override the kings. You overrode the king on this matter. Why did you do it? And they were forced to answer all these questions. Now, just because they were put on trial doesn't mean that they were necessarily punished for it. More often than not, they were. They were like, they answered questions. Yeah, I did this because, this was the circumstance, or this was a bad idea, whatever. And then they were, the assembly, the assembled government said, yeah, okay, this all seems perfectly reasonable. And basically, I think this should still be applied to presidents. And maybe you can even do this with congressmen as well, but there's like 500 of them, so that would tie up the court system even more. But I say have the president go on trial, like basically be impeached. And impeached doesn't mean anything happened, it just means you go on trial by Congress. Congress puts you on trial. That's all it means. Doesn't mean you're punished or anything. And you now have to answer for things you did during your term. And if you are found guilty of various things, you will then be punished appropriately, including prison time. I really think this should be the case. Now, this is going to be politicized to hell and back because it's going to be politicized. You know that. So ideally, it probably wouldn't be necessarily impeachment. I mean, that's one way to do it. Maybe there would have to be a separate body. I would say that this would be something that the Supreme Court could do, but the Supreme Court's also been politicized to hell and back. So maybe we'd have to set up, another branch of government. And I'm very hesitant to add more branches to the government. But I just like the idea of our politicians being accountable for what they have done during their time in office. Like, I really like the idea of checks and balances, and I really think there needs to be a couple more checks and balances on the system. As much as I don't want to grow the government, I think sometimes you have to do some sort of necessary evil. But yeah, just accountability into the office of the presidency and to politicians in general. So that's just just some thoughts that I had. I don't know if they're good ideas or not. Let me know what you think about this. Of course, it's going to be politicized to hell and back, but that's the way of things. So it's not a perfect system. This is something I came up with while stocking the milk shelf. So this is not exactly high-level political thinking here, but it's a nice thought experiment. So, in any case, that is it for this video. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Subscribe button should be right over here. If you can't find the subscribe button on your own, you probably should not be on the internet unattended. In any case, more videos whenever I get around to it, and that's pretty much it. So, have a good day, or don't have a good day. You're an adult. You can have any kind of day you want. See you later.